Hello again, my name is Ernest Miller. Let's settle for the details now. Over 400 residents of Anglo Beach, a community in the Shama district of the Western region, have been displaced by tidal waves. Anglo Beach for several years has been bearing the brunt of tidal waves. Over 90% of houses in the community have been washed away by the sea. Here's a report by Western Regional Correspondent Nathalia Kwanzaa.
This is not the first time Anglo Beach has been hit by a destructive tidal wave. The situation has become an annual ritual whereby households and properties are often destroyed by tidal waves. The community, which lies in between the Pra River and the sea, now has about 90% of households swept into the sea, making the occupants homeless. The affected residents were spotted either counting their losses or carrying the few items they could salvage into their new place of abode, which is either with some family members or the church. District Chief Executive for Shama, Ebenezer Daze, together with some members of the District Security Council, were in the community to assess the situation. According to the DCE, a land allotted for their relocation has become a point of litigation by two families.
And if you look at how people have been displaced, I mean, it's very bad. And so we spoke to them and we gave them the assurance that something is going to be done. That is to move them permanently to the resettlement area. That is what we've agreed on. They themselves have agreed that they are ready to move, and so we are also ready to help them. We know there are disputes about the land, and on Friday we are calling all those involved and then talk to them that we can't wait any longer. Life is very important, and so we can't sit our own concern for us to waste life and properties. So we move them. When you have any case, come to us for us to settle.
Assembly member for Anglo Beach, Samuel Bolu, bemoaned the fact that over 90 households in the once beautiful community have been washed away. He, however, was happy with the intervention of the district assembly towards resettling the people.
The tidal wave was so high, said that it washes away so many houses around the coast. And then today, as we see here, the NADMO boss himself came from Accra, brought some items, some relief items to the community, and then the DC and the MP has also assured the community that they will be moving to the new site. So, I mean, you could see that the community is so much happy. For the last 3 days, we have lost about 30 houses. But if you add up, you make it cumulatively, I would say it will be in hundreds.
Here, as the Director General for the National Disaster Management Organization, Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe, who visited the community with some relief items.
There was a tidal waves disaster that affected the people of Anglo Beach. This is not the first time. In 2017, I was here. It happened, and we keep on advising them to move to the safest place. But when we came today, we were told that there was some land litigation. Because of that, they couldn't move to the place. But we are grateful to the MP and the DC. They've been able to settle most of the land litigations. And you see, when we came, the people were not willing to move to the new site. Today, they are all willing. I'm so happy. All of them are willing to move to the new site. And that is what we thank God for. So we are here, one, on behalf of the president and government, to empathize with them for what has happened to them, and also to present some relief items to the people also. So that is why we are here. It is a sad thing, but we thank God there was no death records or other human incidents.
For Joy News, in Nathalia Kwanzaa, Anglo Beach.
The Shama District NADMO Director Michael Nyang tells Joy News plans are far advanced to resettle victims to the proposed site.
The district chief executives have said it categorically that we won't sit down for the people to die while there's vast land. So you will engage those who are battling over the land, you engage them and talk to them. But meanwhile, he will make sure that he has sent the people over there so that there will be no any such an incident. So, as for the resettlement, the district, the NADMO, is ready to move the people there. Even as I'm talking to you, yesterday the committee were there. They are clearing the land. They didn't finish yesterday. Today they will continue. We are taking this week to clear the land. So from next week, it's going to be a fiscal planning department to make the demarcation so that we started building. So this is what is there at the moment. So we are taking this week to read the entire land. So from next week, the physical planning, including the works department and the NADMO, will go to the site to demarcate the area for the community or for the members to start building.
So in about a week's time, this place should be ready for the community to move in? Yes, in a week's time,
that the land should be ready for the community. The victims at the moment, you see, while the seeds have removed them, they have removed them totally from their houses. So it has affected them socially. So at the moment, they will need some items, relief items. Yesterday, when the Director General was coming, he brought some items, used clothes, soap, mosquito net, vegetable, cooking oil, caps, basin caps, and blankets. He brought a whole lot of items. So that will cushion them at the moment.
Away from Shama, a Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, has revealed that 5 of the country's top power plants are under threat from carbon emissions. This could have dire consequences for 16.3 million people in the country. That was the outcome of a research conducted by the International Climate Adaptation Center. According to the research, should any of the top 5 power plants be affected by flood, 3.9 million people in the country will not have access to electricity. Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam made this disclosure at WA during a regional forum held by the National Energy Transition Plan. John News' Upper West correspondent was there. Rafiq Salam and our reports.
Organized by the Ministry of Energy, the regional consultative fora are being held at a time when it is critical for the country to reduce emission from production and use of energy by replacing high emission fuels, particularly fossils, with sustainable fuels such as renewable energy. The forum, therefore held in the Upper West region, sought to solicit stakeholders' input in the implementation of a harmonious national energy policy that is in tune with the Paris Accord, which aims at achieving a net zero carbon emission. Standing in for Energy Minister Matthew Opoku-Perempe was one of his deputies. Dr. Amin Adam, who painted a gloomy picture for the country if adequate steps are not taken to prevent the danger posed by the carbon emissions.
And so because of emissions, carbon emissions, our top 5 power plants that are threatened will affect 16.3 million people. Because we have lost our forest cover, the wind that comes to these areas are violent winds. And they can pull some of our transmission lines down. And when that happens, we are in trouble. We can't supply power. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there are top 5 substations in Ghana. If we have floods affecting each of them, we will not be able to transmit power to 3.9 million Ghanaians. When it comes to water, increased drought threatens future energy availability to over 300,000 people in Wa East, Banda, Sisala West, Laura, and Wa West. This is part of the country here, the region in which we are. So I wanted to let you know that we are not safe.
Dr. Amin, however, noted that the country stands to gain based on on the opportunities that are available if it is able to adapt the National Energy Transition Plan.
With the electric vehicles that are coming, yes, some jobs will be created. Some jobs will be created. We will have to build charging stations across the country. Some people will get business to do, and they will employ people to be in charge of the charging stations, isn't it? Also, we are talking about renewable energy. Let's do more renewable energy. It will bring renewable energy jobs. We call them green jobs.
Transport Minister, in a speech read on his behalf by his deputy Hassan Tampuli, pledged a commitment of the ministry to the promotion of a sustainable and environmentally responsive system, noting that it is one of the most urgent and critical measures that can guarantee a net zero future.
In respect of transport services, our focus is mainly on technological shift away from petrol and diesel fuels to a more benign alternative. We are currently developing an e-mobility policy to guide the development and deployment and scale-up of electric vehicles in the country. We are also working assiduously to introduce the first ever battery-powered electric buses as well as gas-powered buses for public transportation. These interventions will serve as an important leverage that will set the tone for the gradual decarbonization of the road transport industry.
Our Regional Minister, Dr. Bin Sali, used the opportunity to appeal to the Ministry of Energy about the plight of 635 communities in the region that are not connected to the national grid.
We have 635 communities that are yearning to be connected to the national grid. I'm therefore using this opportunity to appeal to you to work closely with our assemblies so that these communities are connected to the national grid.
The next stop of the regional fora will be held at Demango in the Savannah region. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam.
And away from energy, education now. The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend John Intim-Fojo, is upset about the delay in completing the Regional Education Office Complex for the OT Regional Directorate. The 8 calendar month project, which started in February 2020, is 30% complete. The delay has compelled the Regional Education Directorate to continue to occupy a 6-unit intervention classroom facility for the free senior high school program at the Bueman Senior High School at Jasikan. Reverend Fojo hinted government may be compelled to select a different contractor to complete the project. Peter Senu has more in the following report.
We cannot have this project that should have been completed in 2020 still somehow 60% complete. A little 37, it's not even up to half. Not even 40% complete. So some very drastic decisions will be taken to ensure that it is completed. We are only interested in the completion and not necessarily who does it.
That was the Deputy Education Minister, Reverend John Intim-Fojo, obviously not satisfied about the progress of work on the office complex for the OT Regional Education Directorate at Jasikan. The contractor was not on site in person to answer questions, and there was no serious sign of work in progress. But for the delay in completing this project, the OT Regional Education Directorate should be occupying this facility since October 2020. The Regional Directorate has since been occupying a 6-unit intervention classroom facility for students at the Bueman Senior High School at Jasikan. This was to augment the infrastructural deficit for the free SHS program in the school. The sword was cut for the construction of the Regional Directorate in February 2020 when the sitting president Akufo-Addo toured the region. Sema Construction Engineering Limited was scheduled to complete the project within 8 months. The progress of work as of April 2022 is at 30%. This, the Deputy Minister is not enthused about.
So far, as you can see, the project is not even up to 40% completion. The others that were awarded around the same time have been completed and handed over. Funds have been made available, but contractor has not been forthcoming. And this is not a development that we are pleased with. So some very urgent actions are going to be taken together with the Ministry of Local Government and Decentralization, who have direct oversight over the project. Even though we at Education are the beneficiary ministry, it is under the jurisdiction of the Local Government Ministry. So we will collaborate with the Minister and ensure that some very urgent decisions are taken to ensure that within the next 6 months this project is completed. We have dedicated Regional Director and her team who are currently not where they are supposed to be, and it is not a situation we are happy about. That is why we are here to inspect. So some decisions will have to be taken. Clearly the contractor has not demonstrated commitment, and therefore what we are interested in is whoever will complete it and within the period and to the quality that we have planned. So we thank you, the media, for your support and your interest even in following up for us to timeously complete this project.
Deputy Regional Minister Joshua Makubu and the Acting Regional Education Director Nana Kubiajo Bakatai II accompanied the Deputy Minister. The Minister also seized the opportunity to interact briefly with students at the Boeman Senior High School on the need to be studious while at school. Peter Sanu for Joy News.
Now stay with education, and basic schools in Seshuyuoso are faced with challenges in literacy and computing. These schools feel removed from the digital economy, which the ICT curriculum should be preparing them for. There are little resources to aid the teaching and learning of ICT, but the O2472 Foundation aims to bridge this digital gap among students. There's more in the following report.
Schools in Seshuyuoso lack funds to acquire the necessary hardware and software facilities for computing. Additionally, there is no trained manpower in the use of ICT in schools. To promote STEM education, the O2472 II Foundation is creating access in the most exciting ways of literacy and learning of ICT in communities. Professor Ohene Babuachie J. Wahene II is Otumfuo Hiahene and the board chairman of the O2472 II Foundation.
So these students most of them, I believe, have never been exposed to the computers. So they've been taught how to use the keyboard, how to type, and also they've been provided with several books that they've been taught how to read. And so this is a program that is encouraging reading from its beginning, because reading is the essence of all education.
Many pupils in the community have shown enthusiasm in the learning of ICT. Their skills may be good enough as they are living in rural areas. However, initiatives can be made to improve upon their skills and generate more interest in learning.
On the ICT side, they taught us how we can use the mouse and how we can lay our 10 fingers on the keyboard while we are typing. And also, they taught us how we can launch the Microsoft Excel and how we can type our names or keep a record in Microsoft Excel. And they also taught us how we can read fast and the tonations we should do when reading.
We learned about Mavid, Recon, Microsoft Excel, and when we went to the reading class, they taught us how to arrange books on the shelves and how to remove it. And we should study something when we are reading, punctuation marks, voice we are using.
The O2472 Foundation promised to set up a library in the community for reading and ICT learning to be fully utilized.
Or at least we'll be able to establish a center whereby a library can be established for several institutions in the community to have periodic visits to continue with the program that they've been undertaking through.
With this initiative, students will not be left behind in terms of technological advancement. The gaps of digital divide between rural and urban schools will gradually be bridged. Mona Lisa Frimpon reporting.
A study by Star Ghana Foundation has revealed that there's silence in the country because of fear of victimization by both individuals and civil society organizations. The study also revealed that most Ghanaians are now investing their time in activities that are personally beneficial than in endeavors that are of national interest. Samuel Imbura has more in this report.
The revelation was contained in the Active Citizenship Strategy document by Star Ghana Foundation. Lead strategist at Star Ghana Foundation, Mauli Dake, touched on the issue of victimization.
So one of the things we learned from the process was one of the reasons why active citizenship is in a decline. As Auntie Esther put it, people engage and invest in things that are meaningful to them. And if they find that the state is not that useful to them, they have no interest in engaging or doing anything. So those of us who don't want to be tagged, we choose silence. There is also a lot of fear about victimization. People saying if you speak out, a lot of people who genuinely care about you will reach out to you and say, hey, Charlie, be careful.
Contributing to a panel discussion on the matter, private philanthropist and economic policy analyst Senyo Husi had some questions about the quality of Ghana's governance.
What government are we creating? What environment are we creating when we have the privilege to impact our time and space? That is not the kind of citizen that Ghana needs. Ghana has become a geographic location. It has lost its sense of nationhood, but it's not all that lost.
Good governance must yield development. Social activist and member of the Economic Fighters League, Regina Amega, said Ghanaians must push for more development.
So we sit here and ask everybody to be active citizens, but we go home and we tell our students that demonstration don't go. So as parents, as thought leaders, as people who are instrumental in the day-to-day affairs of the country, what do you tell your kids at home? Telling them that the system is rotten. And then you're telling them to shy away from solving the problem. Then we again tell them that why are they running away? What is a young person supposed to do?
But member of the governing board of Star Ghana Foundation, Charles Abugri, said the fundamentals of the republic needed rescue.
That the fundamentals of the republic is falling apart. And therefore, the first element of our active citizenship is to rescue the republic and to return to the fundamentals of why we created the republic.
The change must start from the constitution, as co-founder of Afrobarometer, Professor Jima Boedu explains.
What about our constitution must we change? And in what sequence? In other words, move from the broad idea of needing to do something about the constitution to beginning to think of what exactly we should be changing about the constitution.
The launch of the Active Citizenship Strategy by Star Ghana Foundation is expected to strengthen civil society and facilitate inclusive citizens' engagement with the state and other duty bearers for accountability and transparency. Samuel Imbura's report for Joy News.
The Executive Director of Star Ghana Foundation, Ibrahim Tanko Amidou, tells Joy News there is more to this.
Our objective is to explore ways in which we can enable or support citizens to be more active in development processes, whether at the community, at the district, or at the national levels. And so in terms of looking at why is it that civic activism, the willingness of citizens to be active in development processes, why is it going down? And one of the factors that was identified was the fact that there was a fear of victimization, whether at the community level for speaking up, for standing up for rights, or for trying to do things, or at the national level too, where it happens. So it's within that context that we spoke about people's fear of being victimized, affecting their willingness and interest in participating in development activities, whether in the area of governance, whether it's in the area of social development or economic empowerment. Being active citizens goes beyond speaking. Right. There is speaking on salient issues, but also being willing to participate, either as volunteers or whatever, in development processes. And so there's a culture of silence, there's a culture of inactivity. And they find the causes rooted partly in this fear of victimization.
The Kumasi International Airport is set for operations in August this year, 2 months ahead of scheduled completion date. Some equipment have been installed with simulation exercise completed. Now Jima joined the Ashanti Regional Security Council on a visit and filed this report.
The scope of work on the Kumasi International Airport includes the extension of existing runway pavement from 1,981 meters to 2,320 meters. The terminal will have capacity to handle 800,000 passengers per annum. Presently, the terminal building is near completion with most installations done. Works on control tower is in advanced stage. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah, during an inspection to the facility, expressed satisfaction at the work done.
Of the greatest importance to me is that they have the best scanner, which can allow flight from here to move even to US. That has the most difficult eligibility criteria in terms of aviation. And that they see this one we have, the scanners we have, qualify for the requirements of the US airlines. You saw some bars there. It means they've been running the bars through the scanners to see if it can detect any objects that are hidden in the various luggage. If you look at the departure and arrival hall, it's almost completed. All the facilities have been installed, but you need the fire service area, you need the control tower and others, which when completed, they have to do all simulation.
Once work on the project is completed, the existing terminal, which has outlived its usefulness, is expected to be demolished. As part of government's vision to expand economic activities in the city, efforts are being made to improve infrastructure. Already, a 100-kilometer town road project within the Greater Kumasi enclave has been completed by contractor construction. Mr. Osei-Mensah says the government is committed to developing majority of roads in Kumasi by the end of its tenure.
People say that they don't see the roads. It's because some of the roads are localized. If you are not living here at Nkrumah, how can you know that this road is constructed? So as you can witness, excluding other contracts within Greater Kumasi area, we are expecting something around 400 kilometers of road. So by the time we complete 400 kilometers of road in Kumasi, most of the areas will be covered. I will never say that we can cover every place, no, because some areas are even developed before the request for proper layout.
For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
A local plant, Salacia debilis, known in Akan as hamatreben, has been used locally to treat malaria. Scientists at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have affirmed its effectiveness against the deadly disease with the discovery of previously unknown substances that have shown the potential in eliminating the parasite.
The plant, Salacia debilis, also known as hamatreben, is a woody climber. Treben in Akan refers to the green mamba because of its ability to wrap around plants. This plant for centuries has been used to treat malaria.
Yes, Prof.
The scientists, led by PhD student Michael Connie, set out to investigate the scientific basis of its actions.
We have some plants that are ethnomedically or locally used for the treatment of so many ailments and diseases in Ghana. However, we don't have a lot of scientific backing or scientific information to support their use in the local settings. So one of the main reasons why I decided to embark on this project is to be able to establish or set out some scientific basis for the use of these plants locally, and then also be able to come up with scaffolds or compounds that can be further developed into drug candidates that can help with the ongoing issues with malaria.
The work, supervised by Dr. Lawrence Sheninghambokwe of the Department of Chemistry and Dr. Edmund Ekwaji of the Department of Pharmacognosy, found that extracts of Salacia debilis was able to kill malaria parasites. They isolated 3 additional substances from Salacia debilis which had this ability.
So in the investigation, I was able to discover or find that Salacia debilis is able to kill Plasmodium parasites when you're using both in vivo and in vitro assays, or when you're testing it in, in a test tube or in a living organism, which means that the local plants indeed have the ability to kill Plasmodium parasites. And then again, I was also able to isolate 3 compounds from the Salacia debilis or the plants that still have the anti-Plasmodia activity. So the substances that I was able to isolate from Salacia debilis have never been reported in scientific literature at all. It is the first time that they are being reported in literature, which means that they are novel. Now the interesting thing about novel compounds is the fact that they may have unique modes of actions, and they may ultimately come out as the next anti-malaria drug that can come on the market.
The scientists would be delighted to see other Ghanaian researchers pick up on our local plants and investigate them. Reporting for Joy News, Dr. Netta Pasram.
You're watching Joy News today with me and Asmini. We're taking a break. On very 10, Daryl Kwao has more business for you. Stay with us.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Government received 275.48 million cedis as dividend from state-owned enterprises in 2020. That's according to the 2020 State Ownership Report. This represents a shortfall of 15.46 million cedis compared to the target, but far higher than the dividend paid in 2019. There is more in this report.
Dividends paid in 2020 represented an increase of 164%, about 171.51 million cedis over that of 2019. The improved dividend payment was mainly on account of an increase in the contribution of the minority interest portfolio, particularly the mining sector, which paid 224.77 million cedis as dividends to government in 2020. This is compared to 38.48 million cedis in 2019. The major contributors to the dividend receipts from the mining sector were Newmont Ghana Gold, Kinross Chirano Mining and Goldfields Ghana Limited. In addition, Gasem increased its contribution from 7.3 million cedis in 2019 to 27.66 million cedis in 2020. Approximately 92.61% of dividend from 2020 were from the minority interests. Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Reinsurance Limited and TDC Development Limited were the only state-owned enterprises that paid dividends to government. Further analysis indicates that state-owned enterprises and joint venture companies recorded 37.5% and 73.18% decline in dividend payments.
Now, biotechnology and biosafety are projected to be the future of food production. In this regard, some Ghanaian agri stakeholders have met Nigerian counterparts to strengthen collaboration on ensuring food security in the sub-region. Emma Davis sent this report from Abuja, Nigeria.
A delegation of scientists, researchers, and policymakers from Ghana are in Nigeria to learn from their fellows on how successful they have been in increasing agricultural production in Nigeria. They start off with a stakeholders meeting. Here are some of the speakers.
I must commend our Ghanaian brothers and sisters for taking this bold step to initiate and actualize this very important mission that will further enhance scientific bilateral collaboration between the two countries. Nigeria has taken the bull by the horn to embracing the application of technology in our agricultural system. And this is the only way to feed our huge population.
Nigeria as a country, we know one thing is clear about us. As regulatory body, MBME, we ensure that we have the knowledge. We also ensure we have the courage. These two must go together. It's on that basis we're able to surmount all the attacks and criticisms that sometimes tend to frustrate you and also to intimidate you. We will never be intimidated at the National Biosecurity Management Agency. We are going to do the best for our country to ensure that this technology is applied safely for the economic development and growth of our country.
When the invitation came, I was wondering why a legislator should be involved in this technical talk. But then coming here and listening to what you have done, I think that if all parliamentarians and all legislators have this exposure and this level of in-depth knowledge, will be willing to speak for science.
There have been so many skepticisms about biotech and then agric production. I'm a geneticist and a pathologist as well. People are talking about the concept or the process and the products bringing us a lot of cancer. And that is what is eating so much into people's minds, and they are not prepared to allow these products from biotechnology to come to them.
African population is growing at a very alarming ratio, and if we are going to maintain the level of security that we have today in Africa, we need to ensure that we have food security. Food security is very key, right? And it's part of the SDG goal. So we need to also, everything we're doing today in the ministry is most of them is towards food security. One of them is reducing what we call post-harvest losses, right? That is a key mandate given by Mr. President to our Honorable Minister that, look, we need to do this. How do we reduce post-harvest losses?
Nigeria and Africa at large have a very huge population that depends on beans daily for their source of plant protein. Over the years, our farmers have been battling with various insect pests of beans that grossly impact negatively to their livelihood. This deliberate attempt by our scientists and their collaborative partners that resulted in the release of this cowpea variety will continue to impact positively on our farmers' livelihood. The high yield performance of the pod borer variety resulted in high demand for seeds by farmers is testimony of its acceptability in the country.
The delegation from Ghana met with the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Agric and Rural Development, Nigeria, to strengthen bonds and collaboration with matters regarding biotechnology and biosafety. My name is Emma Davis, reporting from Abuja, Nigeria.
All right, more on the marketplace up next. Sports, to stay tuned.
Time now for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. The Black Princesses, ahead of the 2022 Under-20 Women's Cup in Costa Rica, have paid a courtesy call on the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who has tasked them to win the trophy. There's more in this report by my colleague, Benaya Elom.
Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia has charged the Black Princess to, for the first time after 6 attempts, go beyond the group stage of the FIFA World Cup to be held in Costa Rica in August this year. The team has always been good at qualifying for the Mundial, but consistently falls short of making it past the group stage. Addressing the team at the Jubilee House on Tuesday, Dr. Bawumia congratulated the team and urged them to look beyond the target of making it past the group stage by winning the cup.
You've really, gotten here not just by luck. You've gotten here by a lot of teamwork and a lot of hard work. And you deserve to be in the World Cup. And we are very, very proud of you as a country. So on behalf of His Excellency, the President, I congratulate you on your qualification and your consistency. Of course, now the focus as the Chief of Staff, who knows what the challenges of breaking the glass ceiling are, the first female Chief of Staff in the history of Ghana. Your Chief of Staff has told you, and we are all very, very much in line with her thinking, that your job now is to go and bring the cup. That is a simple message.
Captain of the team, Echa Anastasia is confident the team has what it takes to win the trophy if the team is given the desired support.
We will go, and as we are going, we are not going there to joke. We are going there and do our best. Yeah.
So you are sure you are going to go beyond the group stage? You can do the local language. You can do the local language. Yeah. So you are confident you are going to go beyond the group stage?
Yeah, I'm confident.
You are confident. What gives you that confidence?
Because
what have you seen in the team that gives you that confidence?
Unity is one, and training is part. Yeah.
But you heard the vice president and the chief of staff. They don't want you to only go beyond the group stage. They want you to go and bring the trophy. Are you sure you can do that?
Yes. We go and do our best. We go and do our best and bring the cup.
You are sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
GFA President Kete Okureku assured the team of his administration's continuous investment in women's football. An investment, he says, are already yielding the desired results.
Your Excellency, what you see here today has been achieved as a result of a conscious effort of investing in the female sport. First, from your government, through the sector ministry, and secondly, from the Football Association and our partners. I'm happy to say that since we took office 2 years ago, we've placed premium emphasis on the development of the female sport, women's football. The result is that we got YEA to invest in the women's game. Can we clap for YEA, please? Decathlon Ghana, also our partners, ZAS, our partners, Woodin, our partners, all believing in the way our Football Association has been operating over the years. And because of this investment, we are beginning to see results also on the pitch.
And talking about the Black Stars, we heard from assistant coach George Boateng, who wants players eligible to play for the senior national team to be pursued by the Ghana Football Association to strengthen the 3 times World Cup participants in this year's Mundial.
They are young and we are in transition. The expectations of having to qualify would be higher, I understand that, but we have to try and stay grounded because World Cup stage is not a stage that you can think of going there and you cannot underestimate any country. It's high level. So I hope that whether it will be us or a new technical team, I hope that they will manage to get some of the players that are eligible to play for the national team on board to make the competition stronger and then give ourselves, Ghana, a better platform, a better team to go to the World Cup and try, I'm using the word try because I'm careful, try to make an amends. Because it's a high level stage with countries that have players of high level. At the moment, everybody's well aware that there are some outstanding players playing in Europe that are capable to play for Ghana, who are eligible to play for Ghana. And I think it's down to the FA, whether to be us once more or the new technical team, to try their hardest to get those players on board. It will help Ghana a lot going forward.
On this note, we wrap up sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Ablaba. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. Up next is World News.
Time now for the latest update in showbiz. My name is KMJ. President of Artwag and host of Showbiz A to Z here on Joy 99.7 FM, George Quay, has spoken about theatre here in Ghana, and he says we've barely scratched the surface when it comes to theatre. He spoke with my colleague Ibi during a theatre play that was staged during the Independence Day.
Theatre is dynamic. Art is dynamic. You'd be silly to think that what we used to do 100 years ago, we should be doing it the same. No, it is wrong. We can tell the By the First side story differently. The other time on Showbiz A to Z, I asked a question: why do our kids today know America's Spider-Man but do not know our own Kweku Anase? Because we grew and left the story behind. But that is not theatre. Theatre is supposed to evolve. So yes, what you may see as our culture is still here with us. It is still expressive through our theatrical performances, our drama, and it is there. Just that it's taking a different form, a different shape. Our dances evolve. Azonto came and went. And when you look at the elements of Azonto, it's just like you're dancing Panlogo. So it is just our culture that keeps evolving. And it takes a deep thinker to understand and appreciate some of these things and realize that we haven't lost our way. We just need to align with what our past used to be. That's all. And then we'll be.
And that was George Quay speaking to my colleague Ivy over there. Related development, veteran actor Fred Amugi has also added his voice to the theatre promotion here in Ghana and is asking of corporate institutions to come help support and promote culture and, of course, in our theatres here in Ghana.
What is there to be done to whip back the interest of theatre back then as it used to be?
Institutions must back theatre. I'm telling you. When we talk of entertainment, theatre is one of the best. If you pick two, entertainment is one. If you theatre is one. If you pick one, entertainment is one. I'm telling you, because somebody who is in a sorrowful mood suddenly becomes excited watching a play. Somebody who is overexcited suddenly reminds himself that look, life is not easy, because there's some tragedy in even the comedy he's performing or he's watching being performed, and such is life. Life is not all about comedy. It is not all about tragedy. But I smile today, I frown tomorrow. I laugh today, the next minute I'll be crying, because such is life.
And that was veteran actor Fred Amugi with my colleague IB. For more news, log on to www.majoronline.com. My name is KMJ. That'll be all for Showbiz.
And that's it for Joy News today. Many thanks for your company. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll find many stories there. I'm Ernest Mino. Up next is Marketplace with Darryl Kwao. Stay tuned.